Monday, December 9th, and what do you know? I'm back, baby. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm functioning at 87%. I was talking with Jillian over the weekend. I don't know if anybody gets to be more than 94% healthy anymore, but after a terrible week of just head cold, after Spilkis, after I feel a little bit better today. So it's good to be back with you. Thank you so much for just waiting for me to come on back. It is good to be back. We are, of course, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Ike's Sandwiches. He's spreading the love. He's spreading the sandwiches. Look at this handsome guy right here. He wants you to eat well, and we'll tell you how to a little bit later on in the show today. We are, as always, brought to you by BetUS as well. Thanks so much to them. Thanks to the Dubliner and West Portal. And we'll get to thank yous all around. I hate when I have to take shows off. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for channel growth. It's not good for the sponsors. It's not good for anybody. So it is really good to be back. Thank you so much for being back here again today. Your loyalty means the absolute world to me. Hit like, hit subscribe. That's all we're asking you to do, my good friends. Hit like and subscribe. Joe, eat at Ike's. Yeah, baby. I'm suffering true blue forever. Been a long time member here. Yeah, everybody. It's just got the spilk. The yuck is going around. The yuck. Joe, Irish versus Hoosiers. We'll get there, Joe. We'll get there. But we, of course, start with the news, and there won't be very much time to celebrate this news. And a lot of people don't even want to hear the news because they look at the Chicago Bears and they say, not impressed. And after yesterday, I don't blame you. I don't care who the opponent is or was or might be. That is the best the 49ers have looked in a full calendar year. That is the first four-quarter football game that they have played this season. It's the first really good, dominant football game. I think that they might have played since, the Eagles game last year? Seriously. Ever since that Christmas Eve loss to the Ravens last year, it has not been the best 49er football. That includes playoff wins and a Super Bowl appearance. The Chicago Bears so thoroughly got their asses kicked yesterday. Caleb Williams in the postgame was just like, I know we're going through a coaching change and we're a little bit young and all that stuff, and all things considered, we just got our asses kicked. 49ers dominated the line of scrimmage. Haven't said that in a long time. 49ers got an awful lot out of George Kittle yesterday. 49ers got an awful lot out of Brock Purdy yesterday. And 49ers got an awful lot of a defensive line that recorded 7 sacks yesterday. Yatir Gross-Matos with 3, Leonard Floyd with 2. Isaac Guerendo, I hope your foot is okay, because, it's too bad that you were a forgotten man for the last lost totally in the woods 3 weeks of 49er football. But in the week that Isaac Guerendo gets an awful lot of run, boy, the 49ers look good. Now, will he be able to go on Thursday? He's nursing a foot injury. Nothing is ever easy. Ben Barch with a high ankle sprain. They're both getting MRIs. We'll both know more a little bit at the end of today about their availabilities for Thursday. But man, for just a moment, and I'm guessing I'm inviting you to live in a moment, the 49ers looked like the 49ers again. I thought that Purdy was on it and Shanahan was on it, and the two of them together reminded you that when an in-sync, ahead of the chains, lockstep 49er offense is out there functioning, it looks good. I love the early decision that Kyle had of passing up a field goal attempt. Let's go for it on 4th and 1. We have a chance to make this game 21-0, and that sounds better than making it 17-0. And Kyle felt aggressive. He stayed aggressive. The Niners maintained playing aggressive, and they win aggressively over the Chicago Bears. A half of football alone was better than most days of football that the 49ers had played this year. In the first half, 319 total net yards. That is the most in the first half for any team in the NFL against any opponent in the NFL. It was the best opening half of football for anybody in the league this year. The 49ers scored their most first half points since a Saints game back in 2019. most yards, in the first half since 2019. The Bears had 4 total net yards in the first half. That is the fewest by any team in the NFL this season. And look, the Niners are not the best team, nor are the Bears the worst team. But that was an ass kicking that looked like something else that we haven't even seen around the NFL this year. And I don't know. I didn't think that the 49ers had quite that level of controlling a football game available to them this year. It's been an experiment at all times on special teams. It's been a headache at all times on defense. And there are moments the offense clicks. There are way too many moments where it lets you down, and none of that happened yesterday. Again, as good of a day of 49ers football as we've seen in a really, really long time. And what do you know? George Kittle sending the not-so-subtle message to Kyle Shanahan and company. George Kittle basically saying, hey, you want me more involved? Involve me more. Quit asking me to block. Send me out on routes. I'm catching everything thrown at me this month except for colds. So, keep it coming my way. George Kittle, 6 catches, a season high, 151 yards. It was nothing but chunk plays for Kittle all day long. So that was just a welcome sight. And you're going to need to see it again on Thursday when the Rams come to town. Rams just surprised everybody in the NFL by beating the Bills at SoFi Stadium. It was more of a shootout in the end than it looked like it would be. Buffalo gets an awful lot of credit for just keeping the fight coming throughout the entire game. And had there been 5 more minutes tacked onto that game, maybe the Buffalo Bills win it. The Rams just gave everything, I think, at the office, which might help the 49ers when they get here. Everything that just happened against the Chicago Bears goes right into the pile of, hey, maybe that did matter. Maybe that was a sign of things to come if they beat the Rams. And if they don't beat the Rams, well, then there was really no reason to, have beaten the Chicago Bears. The 49ers are treading water. They're not in the pool out lapping anybody, but they're treading water. And you can sort of see how this looks. 5 remaining games. Nope, that's now down to 4. You beat the Bears. So now beat the Rams on Thursday Night Football on December 22nd. You'll be in Miami taking on the Dolphins. If you win that game, then you're home to the Detroit Lions, and that is going to be a game where everybody is using it to reevaluate who the 49ers might be. Because the Lions pretty much are the measuring stick right now in the NFC. So this is still an interesting football season, whether you want it to be or not. I had some people saying, the win yesterday, you should just be tanking from here. No, not yet. Not yet. That's not how this team is built. It's not how Kyle Shanahan is coached. I don't think that's the investment you want to make in Brock Purdy. Play good football. I freaking dare you the rest of the year. You haven't spent too much time this season playing it. If we see it now, maybe it is too little, too late, or maybe it's just enough to squeeze you in. Again, if the 49ers keep on playing like this, they're officially going to be the team that nobody wants to play. Why did Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason have to die for us to get to know Isaac Guerendo? I mean, I don't think we're going to stop with things that have bothered us about this year. It feels like Kyle has options available to him when he needs them that he chooses to ignore at times, and it's hard to really understand why. Isaac Guerendo in the last 3 weeks has been on the side of a milk carton more than he's been in the game for the 49ers. Why? Because he just gave us the best Christian McCaffrey impression we've seen any running back give the 49ers since they've signed Christian McCaffrey. It was pretty damn impressive, and I hope that he can continue to play this Thursday night, because if he doesn't, you are at Patrick Taylor and the kid that they signed off the streets, whatever, Abracadabra, whatever his frickin' name is. Just win. Just keep on winning. You have no choice to do anything but that. Again, it's a lot easier to play good defense when you're getting 7 sacks. I don't know if that's totally available. The Bills didn't sack Matthew Stafford once. 49ers are going to have to get Stafford off of his mark. Stafford might be an old man, but he's still got a young arm. And when he unleashes it, that ball comes out spicy. So it'll be a little bit more of a challenge. But it was good to see Talanoa Hufanga come back and play well. I thought D. Winters had a decent game yesterday. Devondre Campbell even started playing well at times yesterday. Again, Yatir Gross-Matos was out of his tits yesterday. It was the best he's ever played. Maybe best game of his career. Leonard Floyd, keep it up, man. Keep that up. That looked good. Keep it up. Keep it up. 49ers needed that game bad. Now, what does it mean if they lose to the Rams? Nothing. So keep it up. My only advice to you, protect yourself at all times and keep it up. Oh, the other advice I would have for you would be like, what are you doing for lunch today? Check out my guy, Ike. Check out all the sandwich options that he has waiting for you right now at any of his nearly over 100. No, he's over 100 locations now. West Coast, he's got you on lock. Eastward expansion, it's absolutely coming. And what you need to do is be ready for the Ikes coming towards you quickly. Sign up for that Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up. Prizes with every purchase. Earn your way to more free sandwiches. And again, Ikes has opened up an Ikes in New Orleans. And that's why he's got an opportunity for you to win a trip to New Orleans. When you sign up on his Ikes Rewards program, you will be registered for a trip to New Orleans. There's going to be a large football game there played in February, and you could be going to that by ordering a delicious sandwich that looks like that. Look at me. I'm Damon. I hope you think I'm a good host. I know you will think I'm a good sandwich. There's debating whether or not the show is good. There's no debating this sandwich. I am delicious. Good for you? I don't know about that. Delicious? I do know about that. Get yourself to Ike's and eat me, if you don't mind me saying. I want you to get yourself to the Dubliner and have one of the best Guinness pours in all of San Francisco. My boys, Kenny and John, got you. They are going to take great care of you when you walk into the Dubliner West Portal. I don't know where you're going to watch Thursday night's game. Dubliner and West Portal is a great place to go. We got Warriors hoops on. Go ahead. Where do you, the home of the NBA Cup, the Dubliner? Sure, why not? Why not? Sure. Do we care about the NBA Cup? If it gets people into the Dubliner, I care about the NBA Cup. Get yourself to the Dubliner. I won't be drinking any Guinness until Indiana beats Notre Dame in the college football playoffs. We'll get there in a second. But when I do drink my next Guinness, it will be from the Dubliner. And when I make my next bet, I can promise you it's going to be over on BetUS, and I'll be using promo code YouTube150. I've already used it, as a matter of fact, because I've signed up. And 150% deposit match is waiting for you when you use promo code YouTube150 on your first deposit up to $2,000 over on BetUS. It's where the game begins. Make sure you bring your action over to BetUS, who is powering today's live stream. So, again, it is going to be a really quick turnaround for the 49ers. They're going to be back at this on Thursday, which means a very special wake up will be waiting for you not only on Wednesday to get you ready for Thursday night, but Larry and I will be back with a recap wake up on Friday as well. We will be doing another watch party, although I got to tell you, it was our least viewed watch party against the Chicago Bears. And I understand maybe it's because it's the weekend. Everyone's out doing some holiday shopping or whatever, but we need to get the numbers up, boys and girls, if we're going to continue to do the watch parties. We had several thousand people tune in, but we had over 10, 11, 12,000 just the week before, and we're like 5,000, 6,000 for yesterday. So let's go. I'm doing my part. Are you doing yours? By the way, if you really want to do your part to support this channel, I'm going to ask you to hit that subscribe button. I would certainly hope that you have already hit that like button. We've got about 50 more people watching than we have actual likes right now. So let's go ahead and bang out that like button. Again, everybody's a little off their schedule. I was hard to find last week, so maybe people thought, well, is the Plus there for me anywhere? The Plus is back, baby. The Plus is back. So hit like, hit subscribe. And if you're really digging it, I don't know. How about a little merch? Chef A decided that she was going to pick up a mug, and there it is. That's what it looks like. If you pick up a mug, there you go. You want a T-shirt? Our good friend Danny Golding decided to become a spokesmodel. He got the mug. He got the shirt. And I'll just tell you right now, I got an email from our partners at Fourth Wall who does my merch, and they are telling me that if you want your merch before the holidays get here, you basically need to order before Wednesday. For your merch to arrive before the holidays, order before Wednesday if you would, please. And you can order right on the YouTube website. It is easy to find. And thank you so much for supporting. It means an awful lot to us over here. So, look, as good of a day of football as we've seen out of the 49ers in a long time. What does it mean? Nothing if they don't beat the Rams. So this is the biggest week of the year. Here it is. We've been looking for it. When are the 49ers going to use a football game to officially point themselves back in the right direction? Well, we're going to need 2 games to really agree that they're pointed in the right direction again. Great start against the Bears. Go and do the same thing against the Rams. And if you do, leaning forward back into this year, people will be doing it. Maybe that loss in Buffalo drove people away. I know that loss in Buffalo drove people mad. But, dude, this ain't over yet. This ain't over yet. Kenny Power says, give a thumbs up, leave, then come back and give another like. Can you even do that? Are you gaming the system here, Kenny? Here's the thing. I don't need anybody to game the system. One man, one vote, one woman, one like. That's all we're asking for. Kenny, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. What else we got? Oh, Smiley Dan, who I hope is as safe as he's ever been, said, Damon, glad you're feeling better. Nice to have the 11 a.m. show back. It is good to be back. I don't feel like myself when I'm not hosting shows. I don't. My whole day is off kilter. I feel like I've missed something. I've missed a meal. I've missed saying, hello to you. So I do. I don't just host the show because I like doing it. I have to do it, or else I start driving my family nuts. So thank you for being the vehicle that prevents me from driving my family nuts. Look at JJ Rader here. He's like, I like this on 2 accounts. JJ Rader is stuffing ganja jars. He's liking on 2 accounts. That man is officially putting in at the office. Thank you so much, JJ. Always good to see you. 510 Steve says, that loss in Buffalo was forecasted at the very start of the season, but those losses against Arizona, Seattle, and the Rams still tick me off. It's got to tick the entire team off. If you are really asking where it all went wrong, those 3 games are going to be at the center of where it all went wrong. If this season goes wrong, and in many ways it has. I'm still, here's the thing. I don't want to do my let's talk college football playoffs here thing yet, but I see that Alabama's really pissed about not getting in, and they've said that they're going to go ahead and start looking at their non-conference schedules again, and Alabama's upset that it's not in the playoffs this year, and blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you, Alabama, you're not in the playoffs because of your non-conference schedule. You're not in the playoffs because you lost at Vanderbilt, and you got blown out at Oklahoma. That's why you're not, because of the SEC games that you lost. It's got nothing to do with the non-conference. You got your dicks kicked in against that can't happen opponents. That's why you're not in the playoffs, Alabama. It's got nothing to do with your scheduling. It's no showing in Nashville and in Norman. That's why you're not in. Again, people picking and choosing from the buffet of why we've been aggrieved as a fan base. because you didn't handle your own business in conference. Well, Indiana's non-conference, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? They did handle their business in conference. That's why they're in. So suck it. From all the Hoosiers. Seriously. Yeah. Albert says, oh, boo-hoo, Alabama. I mean, seriously, you want to talk about a group of people I will never feel sorry for? Not for, it's like being, oh, did the New York Yankees lose Juan Soto? Oh, how will they ever recover from that? Oh, my God. They'll be fine. They're the fucking Yankees. It's just going to happen. They're going to be all right. Chef A, Dick's getting kicked in. It's got to hurt. You wouldn't even know, Chef A. Ladies, you don't have balls. Be thankful for that in many, many ways. Because in no part in a female's anatomy is the most easy to disrupt with extreme pain body part hanging outside of their bodies. That's what we have as men. The most precious part is just subjected to the forces of nature. I mean, if there were, like, we put our heart and our lungs behind a rib cage, how come our balls don't have rib cages? It's a good question. Any doctors can explain that to me? Be thankful every day that you, all I know is that, look, I watch my wife deliver 2 children. There's clearly nothing easy about that. But my wife we chose to have a second child. I have never chosen to be even grazed in the nuts. So maybe getting, nutty is more painful than childbirth. I don't know. No men chooses to be hit in the nuts. I feel like we've been talking about balls probably a little bit too much here. Let's get back on track. By the way, the sip of the day has come and gone, long past. Family jewels. Protect them at all times. Protect yourself at all times. It's our weakness. No doubt. My wife, it's a great way to start a sentence. That's absolutely, Jerry Seinfeld was right about that. Kenny Powers is saying, like, a rib cage on the balls would look weird. Maybe, but it would be like nature's jockstrap. It would probably damage the jockstrap industry if we had rib cages in our ball. Anyway, okay. Let's move on. What more can I tell you about the 49ers other than that looked really good? Do it again on Thursday. That's all you need to know. Do what we saw on Sunday, again on Thursday, and we can keep talking about how this season remains alive in spite of the fact they've squandered an awful lot of opportunity so far this year. Keep it up. I frickin' dare you. Keep it up. I frickin' dare you. By the way, the reason why we don't even have 100 people in the room yet is because we don't have 100 likes yet. This video grows on YouTube the more you lean in and just hit that little thumbs up. It's free. It's easy. It takes 0 effort. Hit that like button. You want to totally enrich me by hitting a subscribe button too? God bless. So let's talk about a few other things that are officially going on right now. Some of these things just happened over the weekend. Some of these things happened while I was sick. Let's get into them. Last night, Sunday night, we got the news that Juan Soto is, he's just going to take the most amount of money. That's it. Juan Soto, the hitter, spectacular. Juan Soto, the loyal to the soil. If anything, he's not at all. Juan Soto is a mercenary. And I think it absolutely cheapens a career when you've been on 4 different teams, much less you are regarded as one of the best players in the world, and you've been on 4 different teams now before you're even 27 years old. Like, it just cheapens the whole thing. And that's the only thing that now is cheap about Juan Soto. A 15-year-long contract for any professional athlete is, by the moment it's agreed to, built to fail. 15 years? I can't tell you what a player is going to be in 15 minutes from now, much less 15 years. That is 3 lifetimes of an athlete. 15 years? You know what? At 15 years, you can fucking have them. I would rather not have Juan Soto. I'd rather have Juan Soto for no years than anybody for 15. Seriously, that's insane. That is insane. He's changing boroughs. He's changing teams. He's not changing the city. But he just went from a 3-star Michelin restaurant to McDonald's. That's the difference between the Mets and the Yankees. I don't care how much money Steve Cohen spends on his roster or what the Mets ever accomplish or think they are in terms of interesting or capturing the zeitgeist of New York City. You were on varsity. You just chose to go to JV. Okay, seriously. There's no amount of, well, it's the second team in New York, and the second team in New York means more than being the first team. No, you're the fucking Mets. Never forget that, ever. I don't care what's happening. And Steve Cohen can spend all the money that he wants. He can spend it on Lindor, DeGrom, or Verlander. I think he's given away 5 of the 10 $100+ million contracts. And look, Steve Cohen clearly wants to win. For the Yankees to be outbid by the Mets, again, George Steinbrenner rolled over in his grave last night. But if the Mets want to spend money like that, let them. It's insane. And the crazy thing is it's a $765 million contract that can balloon to $800 million depending on clauses. If Soto gets bought out of his opt-out, he goes from $51 million a year to $56 million a year. It's insane. It's insane. Again, you can have him. Steve Cohen, Mr. Not Screwing Around. It is insane that a guy like Steve Cohen and John Fisher can exist in the same universe. Like, how unfair is that? How staggeringly unfair is that? You've got one guy who is so committed to winning, he is spending money at ludicrous speed, and the other guy is just Spaceballs. It's insane. And what I can't believe is that Soto is making more money than Shohei Ohtani and won't throw a single pitch in his entire career. How can you be worth more money than Shohei Ohtani, who just shows up in LA and even without pitching helps them win a World Series? I don't know about that, but I guess, like all things on the market, timing is what you need. Again, Soto's 15-year, $765 million contract can be worth $805 million if the Mets void Soto's opt-out after the 2029 season. They must increase his annual salary from $51 million to $55 million. Oh, good. He'll be getting that extra $4. It's insane. I mean, good for him, right? I mean, I'm not here to get in anybody's pocket, but that is freaking nuts. How is it even legal to pay a player like half of what they're saying building a new stadium in Las Vegas is about to cost John Fisher and the A's? Insane. Just absolutely cannot do the math in my own head level insane on that. Meanwhile, Buster Posey has made his first word. Willy Adames has been signed. He's 29 years old. He played 161 games last year. Adames is in the lineup. And when he was in the Brewers lineup, he provided some power for them. He's also the architect of a very ho-hum average and a lot of strikeouts. 32 home runs in Milwaukee. If that translates to 25 home runs with the Giants, it's not as good, but that might even lead the team in home runs. I don't dislike the signing. It is a good first step. It's an expensive first step, but it's what Buster and I think the Giants are going to have to do. They're going to have to find that one guy who ain't perfect, overpay a little bit to convince them to come into a situation that players have avoided, that agents have avoided. And you can either blame that on the city, the ballpark, the whatever, state taxes, whatever. It's always going to cost a little bit more to sign a player who might be a little bit less for the Giants, but that's what they got to do. And Buster Posey has bagged his first big contract. You could say that he was involved in the Matt Chapman extension too, and he was. But this is the first big free agent signing by the Buster Posey regime, and he can't be done. You know, lots of talk about him being interested in Corbin Burns. Sure, absolutely. Go get that guy. And I would say that now the Yankees are focused on Teoscar Hernandez. It's time for the Giants to get up their money and overspend for Teoscar Hernandez now. I would love to see that be the next move of Buster Posey and this new regime. Let's see. Adames is an okay defender. I've heard he can be a little bit of not a head case, but he's not the greatest clubhouse guy in the world. Hey, you play 161 games, though. That's what matters to me. An everyday guy in the lineup. Reverse splits kind of a guy. We'll see how it all translates into a ballpark that we know is hard to hit in. But if you're a real good hitter, you're going to hit anywhere. We will see. We will see. Let's see. I want to double just check something real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. What time's that happen? Not tonight. It's going to be, what, Tuesday night? No, it's going to be, when is this? Warriors-Rockets will be on Wednesday. Okay. So a couple days to get ready for the Houston Rockets. It's the NBA Cup, everybody. Who cares, right? But I'll say this. The Warriors beat the Timberwolves at Chase Center right after losing to the Timberwolves at Chase Center. Those were playing consecutive home games against the team. It's always a little bit funny when it happens in the NBA. It's always a weird scheduling quirk. 30 for Curry to go along with 8 assists in the win over the Timberwolves. Draymond had an emphatic dunk to end the night. He even hit the Timberwolves with a little night-night after that one. That was good to see. Kuminga, 20.7 rebounds. And I'm going to tell you right now, Kuminga needs a lot of run here because you either are auditioning Kuminga to be part of a trade that's going to change your year, or Kuminga has to be given the minutes that's going to enable him to become the player that gives you the production that changes your year. So more Kuminga, please. More Kuminga, please, is what we're looking for from the Golden State Warriors and Steve Kerr. That's what I want to see. What is also impressive about this game and the win over Minnesota is they did it without Andrew Wiggins, who, let's face it, has regressed a little bit from the very good start that said, hey, we're happy to see Andrew Wiggins again. Wiggins is still, though, a good perimeter defender. I didn't think that they were going to be beating the Timberwolves without Wiggins out there. They did that. Good for them. And the next game, again, it's a quarterfinal game in the NBA Cup. And all I can tell you about the Houston Rockets is that the Warriors have beaten them like a drum lately. 15 straight wins against the Rockets, 8 of them coming in the city of Houston. And that's where the Warriors will be on Wednesday. Glad the Warriors are playing on Wednesday, not Thursday, because we're going to have to concentrate on the 49ers on Thursday night. The other NBA note to let you know about, again, this doesn't even have anything to do with the Warriors, but this is something else. So over Saturday and Sunday this weekend, Nikola Jokic in 2 games scored a combined 104 points with 30 rebounds and 16 assists. And that becomes the very first time in NBA history that a player has ever gone 100 plus, 30 plus, 15 plus in a 2-day span. So there is an argument to be made that Nikola Jokic just had the single best all-court game over the course of 48 hours as we've ever seen in NBA history. I mean, he is something else. And he's one of those guys that you start to dismiss because he just makes it all look so easy. It comes so effortless to him that it looks effortless to us. Nikola Jokic, man, is going to play himself into the top 20 NBA players of all time conversation. He keeps this up, and he is just ridiculous when he is on it. Indiana, we're all for you. Come on. Never daunted, we will not falter for the glory of old IU. Indiana is going to South Bend to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And I like that. I like that. You know, would a first-round matchup against a Georgia team without Carson Beck been interesting? Maybe. Yeah, sure. Here's all I can tell you about my Indiana Hoosiers. You probably shouldn't bet on them to go up and win in Notre Dame. But Indiana's got an offense that has been showing up in every single game that they've played all year long. And Indiana's got a defense that has active linebackers who disrupt football games in a first-degree effort all the time. Like, Indiana's got a defense that shows up every week, an offense that shows up every week. And if both those units show up in South Bend, don't tell me that a team that lost at home to Northern Illinois might not lose to the Hoosiers. I'm just telling you, I will take a puncher's chance in South Bend, and there will be a little bit of a stepbrother, always ignored team. When's the last time Indiana played in South Bend? I don't know if Indiana's ever been allowed in Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame's played Purdue all these years and other Big Tens all these years. Indiana was such a non-factor in the Midwest that they were never even scheduled by Notre Dame. And there was no there for Indiana to play Notre Dame from an Irish standpoint. You know, if it's a game you win, no one will even give you any credit. If you lose it, you're a dipshit. That's how bad Indiana's been historically. I will take the Hoosiers' chances in South Bend. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Again, Indiana's going to, Notre Dame's going to annihilate Indiana. Okay. I've been hearing that about everybody. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but I'm going to tell you, there's a puncher's chance there. You know, there was a puncher's chance for Indiana to have beaten Ohio State had they not just had colossal Niner-level fuck-ups on special teams in Columbus. There's going to be a few Indiana fans in that stadium, too. They will get in. This is just another big moment for Notre Dame. This is the only big moment Indiana's had in 100 years of football. So they're going to get in there. I'll take my shot. And look at it this way. If you officially want to say, I'm taking Notre Dame, I'm laying the points, I'm not going to argue with you. You should. But the more America bets on Notre Dame, the more America is convinced that there's no way Indiana can win this game, the more I'm convinced they could. Fading the public. It ain't a bad recipe for success in sports. It really isn't. The last thing I want to get into before we get to today in history is just the utter stupidity and failure of the Pac-12 and how everybody involved in the decision to disintegrate the Pac-12 in the name of stupid greed being chased by college presidents, by greedy commissioners, by all the nudniks who thought they knew more about how to program television. That look at it this way. Why did the Pac-12 have to die? Did people watch Oregon more this year because they were a Big Ten team? I don't think so. No. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you, they didn't. Oregon would have gotten attention anywhere. It really feels like breaking up the Pac-12 in the name of USC finding more guaranteed dollars as it's mailing in the worst Lincoln Riley 6-6 season that you could imagine. Like, the Pac-12 had to die so USC could be ultra greedy. And we saw, UCLA coming along for the ride. And then while the whole thing's falling apart, Washington and Oregon obviously think, okay, we're going to jump off too. But seriously, why did any of this have to happen? For presidents and commissioners and, Larry Scott and sports money, TV executive evildoers and morons all had to have their way. It's a shame that it had to happen. It's a shame that it had to happen. 2 members of the now defunct Pac-12 have found themselves conference champions in their first year in their new conferences. Arizona State wins the Big 12 and Oregon wins the Big 10. By the way, Arizona State going from like consecutive 3-2-win seasons to this is really impressive. For Oregon to walk into the Big 10 and just say, all right, everybody, we're the new guy here, but fuck you, we're going undefeated, thoroughly unimpressed by your league. I got to salute you, Oregon. Oregon just kicked about as much Big Ten ass in a, hey, let's poke around and even get to know the conference. I'm blown away by Oregon and Dan Lanning and what they've done. That is really impressive. It really is. They're good. They probably win it all. Unless Indiana shocks Notre Dame, gets a Carson Beckless Georgia team, wins that game too. We'll see you in the fucking Sugar Bowl, everybody. Did I just say that out loud? Indiana issued a press release to fans and alumni saying, hey, getting in Notre Dame Stadium, we don't get many tickets to go do that. That's a home game for Notre Dame. It's going to cost you an awful lot of money. But should we reach the Sugar Bowl, tickets will be available. I never thought I'd see that email from the Indiana Athletic Department. Sugar Bowl tickets will be easier to get than tickets to go see Indiana open up at Notre Dame. It's things I never expected to see. That's definitely on the list. Unbelievable, really. Yeah, the Sugar Bowl, Otis. Yeah, we could be in the Sugar Bowl. Indiana is 4 quarters away from a Sugar Bowl. Again, if Indiana wins the national championship this year, I'm getting a tattoo. I don't like tattoos. I don't want a tattoo. But I made that promise to you. I will get a tattoo if Indiana wins a national championship. Maybe even on my forehead. I don't know. Signetti is God. Just right here on the forehead. Signetti equals Lombardi. Signetti is Sabian. What do you want? Not on my forehead. I won't do it on the forehead. All right. Really good to be back. Really, really good to be back. Again, I was so under the weather last week. I hate not doing shows. Absolutely hate not doing shows. Hate not doing good and right by my sponsors. That's why I want to tell you again. I don't know what you're doing for lunch, but do it at Ike's. Make sure you download that Ike's Love Rewards program and eat at Ike's. Do it today. Eat at Ike's. I'm not fooling around. Drink at the Dubliner West Portal. Guess what you don't need to do? You don't need to park. You don't need to worry about driving. Muni literally drops you off right in front of the Dubliner, right there on West Portal. Have a great time. Great bar. Kenny and John, 2 of the best bartenders in the city of San Francisco. One of the best bars in San Francisco, the Dubliner West Portal. Love you guys. And when you are feeling frisky, when you want to take Indiana and those points in Notre Dame, go to BetUS and get a 150 sign-up bonus when you use promo code YouTube150 on your first deposit up to $2,000 over on BetUS. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let's wrap up today with our day in history. And we will be back to Club Plusing at some time. I'm at 88% at best. So we're not Club Plusing today. I will be going back to bed this afternoon. I don't feel great, but I feel better than I have in a week. No doubt about it. So, are you ready for a little today in history? Here we go. Little history lesson to take with you throughout the day. Oh, game over. Have we eclipsed the total running time for today's show? Fantastic. Bottle pull to help get better? No, not today. Not today. You're playing by the rules of God. Good to see you as always, rocking New Era. Oh, Patrick, I got a haircut yesterday. Outstanding. I'll be getting a haircut next Thursday. My mom gets here next Thursday night. For Christmas, I'm getting my mom a haircut. There's nothing more my mom I got to shave better. I should have shaved this morning. I didn't. Nothing bothers my mom more than this. The hair on the back of my neck. We're going to get that all taken care of next week, right before she gets here. How does one acquire the title Dane? I don't know how that happens. When you get named, you're a Dane now? Is that like a sir over in London? Happy birthday to Dane Judi Dench. Turns 90 years old today. Judi Dench. She's been in James Bond movies. Judi Dench. Like a Marigold Hotel kind of gal. Happy 90th birthday. By the way, today would have been Kirk Douglas's birthday. Kirk Douglas, born in Amsterdam, New York, which everyone who's growing up in Schenectady would be like, hey, a famous person can come from around here. Of course, we don't get without Kirk Douglas, who lived to 103, by the way. He died back in 2000, but he gave us Michael Douglas and Spartacus. You know, when your contributions to Hollywood are Spartacus and Michael Douglas, you done well, Kirk Douglas. Today in 1979, some 10 years after the World Health Organization began a global vaccination program against smallpox, the disease was officially eradicated. You know what happened in 1979? People weren't questioning whether or not you should be vaccinated because we didn't have the internet. Not everyone was a fucking flaming asshole. Yeah, we eradicated a disease. But then Jenny McCarthy said, don't take vaccines. And some of you idiots listened. Okay, so today in 1965, here's a big one. Today in 1965, the animated special A Charlie Brown Christmas with the Peanuts first aired on American television. And of course, it became a holiday classic. We will be showing both Jack and Ozzy, Peanuts Christmas special at some time. They watched the Peanuts Thanksgiving special, the Halloween special. You know what is funny, though? The Peanuts, if we're being totally honest, that moves really slow. Compared to what my kids are used to watching now, Peanuts hold their attention for about 15, 20 minutes, and then they're moving. Peanuts does not happen in any world of short attention span anymore. But, kids do like Snoopy, even though I will say Snoopy is among the most overrated animated characters. He does nothing. He lays on a thing. He does the Red Baron and routine. Like Snoopy, Peanuts, Charlie Brown, total freaking loser. I've always said that, Charlie Brown is is the non-Disney version of Winnie the Pooh. I've always thought Winnie Pooh was the most bitch-ass, pussified children's cartoon of all time. It's just a whole bunch of people sitting around with emotional problems. Oh, I'm having a bad day. I'm Eeyore. Oh, bother. It's just Winnie the Pooh. I always looked at Winnie the Pooh and I thought, Christopher Robinson, man, this kid's a pussy. What's he need a teddy bear for? But again, I was an old man when I was a young man. We can't play it on YouTube. We'll get tagged. We'll be like, that's a violation. We can't play it. But yeah, the Christmas time is here. Oh, I used to love that. Oh, Ratto used to hate that. The only thing Ratto hated more than that was this. Today, in 1868, we're going back for this one. Today in 1868, the world's first traffic light was erected near the Westminster Bridge in London. However, it was removed a month later because of a gas leak that caused one of the lights to actually explode. But there you go. The traffic light, essentially invented today in London in 1868. And finally, with all of the fat, we eradicated smallpox today, peanuts today, Dane Judi Dench today, first traffic light today. Here's the most important thing that ever happened on a December 9th in any calendar year. December 9th, 1983. It was a hell of a night to go to the movies. 3 movies opened tonight in 1983. Those 3 movies were Scarface, Sudden Impact, and Christine. So you could watch one of the greatest gangster movies of all time, Al Pacino and Scarface. You could go and watch one of the greatest Dirty Harry movies of all time, Sudden Impact, or Christine, which is a better book than it was a movie. Still a pretty damn good movie, all things considered. Christine, scary, right? Car came alive, wants to kill everyone. So you had those 3 choices today in 1983, Scarface, Sudden Impact, and Christine. Nee Scott Burns is right. That is a hell of a triple header, isn't it? Absolutely. Oh, here you go. JP from the 510 says, December 9th, 1990, my little brother was born. I need to make a phone call. Yes, you do. Call your little brother. Happy birthday to your little brother. Happy birthday to any one of you who is celebrating a birthday today. Thank you so much for being back here. It was great hanging out again. I do not like missing shows. You all know that. It was great being back with you. I hope all of you have a spectacular Monday. This week is going to move fast. We're going to have an 11 o'clock show, West Coast time, on Tuesday. Wake up on Wednesday, a Warriors Wednesday with Cyrus as well. Getting you ready for a little Warriors NBA Cup action. NBA Cup. Just get those stupid courts off of my television, please, as fast as possible. I will forfeit the NBA Cup right now if you promise me I don't have to look at these eyesore courts ever again. And then Thursday night football, Niners, watch party, yours truly. Hopefully you'll be there. We'll all be hanging out on Thursday night. Thank you so very, very much for being here today. Always great to see you. And as always, please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.